Today is May 11th, and that means it's been almost 6 weeks since this small group of protesters has been camped out here at the Nova Scotia-New Brunswick border. They started protesting on April 1st against the increase in the federal carbon tax. But instead of attracting attention to their cause, they've attracted attention to a piece of graffiti. Is this the Diagolon trailer where they have the graffiti on the door?
No.
Where is it?
I don't know.
I want to know about what was the Diagolon graffiti? Where did that come from?
I don't know.
He's going to get the guy that owns the trailer right
Yeah,
now.
they're
So
going to
he'll
go
be better
get...
to answer your questions.
Yeah, he'd be better at it. He should be coming here shortly.
Okay, so are you guys members of Diagolon?
No, we're
No,
definitely not. Nobody
no.
here is. Definitely not.
No.
Do you even know what Diagolon is?
As far as I know, it's just a fake, made-up thing that somebody made up, and the government of Canada decided to take it and run with it and push it as a terrorist organization. And
Are you a terrorist?
I don't think so.
But the awareness that I've seen has been about this Diagolon thing and Pierre Poilievre visiting here.
That's what it turned into when Trudeau decided to take a small clip of a live taken here and push us as extremists.
Oh.
Where do you guys get a shower? You guys get a shower?
Yeah, a big stop.
Do you know how to join Diagolon?
I do not. I don't know if it's actually a group.
I want to ask about Diagolon because that's what everybody in Canada is talking about. Apparently, you're a terrorist.
Yes, we've been slandered. We've been painted with a brush from the leftists.
Why is it on a camper here?
So this trailer here was part of the Ottawa Freedom Convoy, and it's been a part of a number of other protests across the Maritimes. The Queen of Diagolon, Jeremy Mackenzie's partner, Morgan. I've met them, and she drew, in their way of supporting their side of it. This Diagolon, it was a joke. It was a spoof that Jeremy designed or came up with. That really, it would take as simple as one line that goes from Alaska to Florida, and that was the definition of the white line. And he said they're easily triggered that so much as a white line on a flag can throw them off. It did unfortunately get out of hand. At the beginning, the whole Diagolon organization, and there were a lot of people that could get on board because when you first listen,
Is it an organization?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's followers on his podcast, and as with many others, there are people that like sports teams, and there are people that like automobiles of certain makes, and you can't control.
So it's Jeremy Mackenzie fans, podcast fans.
Yeah, he has a thing that's called the Rage Cast, and he is a veteran of the Canadian Armed Forces, and he served his time. And when the pandemic first come out, he did an address, and it captured a lot of our hearts because he was very frustrated with how he was unable to honor the fallen soldiers that he stood with abroad. And then when he came home to the nonsense of the overreach of the mandates, he was left out in the cold, and that was the first video that many of us saw.
So that flag, though, is causing quite a trauma across the country. I think it's taking away from your protest here about the carbon tax.
Yes and no. This has been an expose for most of us to just acknowledge and identify where the harm is and who is placing it upon the people. And by them taking such a scribble off of a door and running with it so rabid and calling people names and acting in such pathetic mannerism over such that not a single person except for I'm honored that you're here to actually address this, because nobody's actually come and talked to us and learned our stories and wanted to hear how genuine we are. And we understand that something has to be done in Canada, and it has to be done right now.
Can I see the scribble?
No, it's been removed.
Oh.
with much frustration and no, we don't want any rope over us. We don't want anybody to think that for any reason or any association that we are what they're choosing to grab and hold over us.
Is this where,
Yeah.
there it is?
Yep. We got rid of it. We didn't want to at first just because we don't have association, and it was just, she signed it on there, Jeremy's girlfriend, 2 years ago.
And you know, the honest truth of it is it never meant anything to me. This trailer, I would love to share pictures. When
Did
this
you
came
know
off,
what Diagolon was?
well, nobody really knows what Diagolon is or was because it's not a real thing.
Right.
You know, it was supposed to be satire. It was a joke. It was a something that they are actually, you know, I believe strongly that it was almost they chose that because it was so neutral that they could paint it however they pleased. And Pierre decided to show up, and they must have picked this entire footage
Are you a
apart.
Pierre supporter?
I'm not. I'm not. As we're told, he was just driving by and he saw the flags and he radioed to the guys that he wanted to come in for a meet and greet. That was how it was portrayed to me. Now, it was the day after I left.
So do you regret him coming?
Absolutely not. I'm very proud of him for growing the nuts to pull over and come and be the first one that you know acknowledged our presence.
We're gonna axe the tax. It's
Yeah.
gonna happen. And it's gonna be in part because you guys stood up and fought back. People have had enough.
I reached out, when I got home, I reached out to our local conservative member because he put a post on his Facebook that, you know, I stand with you, Sam. And I was like, actually, I haven't seen any of you guys, and I feel you're riding on the coattails of hardworking Canadian citizens during this grassroots movement. And the fact that the liberals are slandering us and the conservatives are using this axe the tax as a marketing ploy.
If Trudeau came, would you let him in?
I would, because I have questions for that man too. I'm not willing to engage in the nonsense of this. I'm a mechanic. I have to fix the problem where you know.
How long have you been here?
41 days.
Really? Are you from Nova Scotia?
I am from Nova Scotia. I am local to the area.
Okay, and why are you camping here?
We are.
And are these your children?
These are my boys.
Hello. How old are you guys?
They're 5 and 9.
Awesome. So you've been here for 41 days and you're camping here. Why?
We want the carbon tax removed. It hurts not only families like ours, but every single person in this country, whether it's from fuel or everything that we buy. The carbon tax is hurting everybody.
But do you think that this is helping?
It may not get it removed, but we're bringing awareness to the issues.
But what do you think being here accomplishes?
Oh, this has been wonderful. I mean, we have been able to identify that there are good people in Canada. When we're standing on the side of the road with our flags and you see that cell phone in the passenger seat, it completely counteracts the CBC's narrative. You know, these mainstream medias that are so heavily funded to project a certain ideology, it is real, and they're doing it at a real aggressive rate. So by us being here, we can actually go against that 100%. Like, our Prime Minister slandered us.
But given the new, more reasonable tone of the Leader of the Opposition, I wonder if he might take this opportunity to reassure Canadians that he does not support extremist white nationalist organizations like Dagley, nor wants their votes.
He has actually gone out of his way to bundle us into a group of, you know, our CSIS actually denounced what Diagolon is in the, you know, how the parliamentarians are choosing to slander us. It is fallacy. It is just another sliver in our foot that is aggravating us. All this nonsense that they're choosing to hold over us and convince the people that are sitting at home on their televisions that don't ever go and stand up, don't ever be yourself, don't ever have pride in your country, hate your neighbor regardless of race or creed. It's nonsense.
Got to keep them all fed and energized to be out there on the line.
So is there like a schedule? How does that work?
No, not really. I mean, we were feeding each other earlier, and not a lot of people were eating, so we kind of figured out we're late eaters, so we have kind of a breakfast brunch.
Okay, and what about the line itself? Like,
The line, Reverend Kevin is here. Where is he?
He's inside.
Okay,
Did you make a list?
he is like the king of the line, I would say. And then we have Nikki. The rest of us go out as well. The kids, definitely, yes, they are out there getting their flag wave technique going. Yeah, everybody goes out and does their spells, but
Reverend Kevin, king of the
Hold the
line.
line, brother. 41 days here.
Yeah.
Right? Life is good.
How do you keep them revved up?
Just enjoying life, trying to make a better future for these kids. Right? Everybody must be affected by it. Everybody, including you and you. We're all affected by this. We're all in it together. Right? So people that don't think they are, there's something wrong with this.
Has the support been positive for the most part?
Support is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Just people can't afford to stop in because we're all broke.
Anybody wave middle fingers or anything like that?
Just blow them kisses too.
Some people have told my partner and I that we shouldn't come here to interview you because we're giving you attention.
Right. Well, I appreciate it, and it takes a big heart, and it takes the realization that something does need to be done.
Do you think you're a terrorist?
I am definitely not a terrorist.
I'm gonna do a documentary on this guy. Just let this guy talk.
You better have a
Get my
bunch of time
YouTube
because
channel. Why does Jeremy McKenzie have a podcast? Do you need one?
I feel he's heavily funded.
Huh?
I feel he's heavily funded.
Jeremy?
Yes.
By whom?
You tell me. You tell me. Like if you follow the money, this is the best way to get to the answer of many of the problems. You follow the money, and you watch the people who have gained financial stability since the pandemic. How is somebody so angry and frustrated able to? He's about to go on tour across Canada and take money out of the Canadian people just to be in his presence. That should speak volumes right there. How can he afford to all of a sudden, with all these fines and all these issues, how can he afford to travel our beautiful country? And on what basis? Why do people want to spend their money to come and listen to the rage? It's counterproductive. It doesn't produce anything. Yeah, and that's
You do whatever you want. You
Yeah.
know, free will. You get to come and live here at the border.
Well, I wish this was.
The rest of your
I
life
wish
if
this
you
was
want.
living, but this is exercising our free right to protest.
How long do you plan to stay?
As long as it takes. As long as it takes.
Really?
Really. We've been here for 41 days, and
You care about it that much?
I do care about it that much because it's affecting my family that much.
I'm not very pleased with any of the political parties we have representing us. The bureaucrats, the unelected officials, the people who are ushering these agendas through at a this is why I'm really proud to be a part of this. Is we have exposed so much nonsense in our Canada that they have ramped up all these agendas, and I'm hoping that they trip on one of them, and then the world can see that it's not good. They are trying to cripple us, and I believe they would like our country for the resources, and without the middle class, without the people that are willing to stand up, they will have our country, and they will have our fresh water and our forests and the beauty that is.
Stay tuned to ATN Reports on Facebook and Twitter. We're the only journalists in Canada to come to the Nova Scotia-New Brunswick border and talk to the people who are protesting the carbon tax. I'm Barb McKenna at the Nova Scotia-New Brunswick border for ATN Reports.